So here we are, about to waffle on about another episode of Doctor Who. This is episode 1 of Series 4. How did we get here? I'm Phil Collinson, I'm the producer.
Hello, I'm David Tennant. Here I am. Oh, there I am.
Hooray!
I'm in this.
And look, there's me.
Hooray! Catherine, how did you feel when you first saw your name come flying out of the vortex?
Really, the first time I saw it was in Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It's like just so iconic, that
It
title
is.
sequence. I love it. It's like you're the biggest stars in the universe. There ain't no bigger star on UK TV than David Tennant and Catherine Tate. And so how did you feel? I'm going to be Terry Wogan now. When because it was Julie who took you out to dinner, wasn't it, and said we'd really like Donna to come back and appear in a whole series.
Yeah, she took me to lunch. She did, I thought she was going to talk
didn't
about...
get dinner.
Didn't
just
get
lunch.
Didn't get
just
dinner,
lunch.
no,
I think she probably thought you'd say no.
And it was, she did,
dinner,
and it was a
money.
restaurant where there was a special menu. Fixed price.
Fixed price, there you go. Cheapskate Gardener, I've had one of those once. Was it one of those all-you-can-eat Chineses?
Do you know what it was? It was
Like made out of a
the
donkey or
stock
something.
pot.
So, now, being serious, what did she say?
No, I thought she was there to talk about something completely different.
Yeah.
And she just said... No,
What did you think she was there to talk about? Can you reveal or was that?
I don't know if I could. Should I?
Ooh, secret.
Something else.
Okay, no. We're
no,
here to talk about
Future secret projects that
No,
we're not
not
involved
at all,
in?
not at all. Something that's going on and someone else is doing.
Maybe the Runaway Bride was going to have her own series.
The Runaway spin-off?
Be about type with that, with this show. Number of spin-offs we've got. No, so you've gone out to the stock.
We've gone out. I've gone out thinking it was about a biopic.
Right,
The
okay.
biopic that she was doing.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Oh, I do know what one you're
You
talking
do
about.
know
Obviously,
what-
we can't mention it.
We can't mention it.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm going to say something completely mad. And I said, okay. She went, how would you feel about being the regular companion? And I genuinely jumped out of my skin. I couldn't have imagined she would have...
Really?
It was the furthest thing from my mind. And I just sort of couldn't believe it. And then everything sort of rushed in front of me, like, oh, God, how would I work it out? What about the travelling and all that? And then... And then
I know, because I think I saw you at an awards thing about a week later, and you were still, like, beaming, absolutely
Yes,
beaming.
and I
and at
remember-
that point, you were like... And we had, like, a secret tryst behind a pillar.
Yes, I remember.
I did, come and do it.
You went, oh, come and play.
Come and play with us. Which is what you've just spent 9 months doing.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
nearly
is.
over now.
Because
as
we're
we sit here
almost
recording
finished as we
this.
sit here. Anyway, we better talk about this episode. So
We're in a cinema. I won't say which one because I'm about to be not very complimentary about it. But if you ever see a cinema with all the lights turned up,
I know.
Oh, it was manky.
it was
wasn't it?
disgusting. wasn't
Every
it? Yeah.
seat had big old bits of chewing gum and mank on it.
And the carpet, you stuck to the
carpet
carpet.
was
Yeah.
filthy.
Yeah.
And it was
absolutely
4 o'clock in the
atrocious.
morning as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it was 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
because they'd had a full evening's events.
Yeah.
And now this was in a little industrial estate somewhere outside Cardiff, and this is an actual genuine call centre.
Yep.
For one of those, and I won't say which one, obviously, we are the BBC, but one of those things that you see adverts for on dodgy daytime television.
Yeah.
Is it?
For
I didn't know that.
you know, worried about your increasing debt burden.
Oh, it's one of them.
Yes.
Not had an accident at work.
No, it's not had an accident at work. It's manage all your debts in one easy-to-pay repayment. It's one of them, and
It's one step away from a loan shark.
Basically, yeah.
And a lot of the staff came in to be... Because, again, this was a night shoot.
That's right.
We had to do this at night because that's the only time we could get the location. And they were all genuine employees.
They were.
Yeah.
And by 3 o'clock in the morning, they were like, what's this? I can't be doing with this.
Yeah.
They'd absolutely had enough.
They'd had enough. They all wanted to go home. Because it was a Saturday night, I think, as well.
And the chap on the left there's Rory, who is usually in sort of rubber suits.
Yeah.
He's one of our regular monster people.
He's an
Rory
Ood
Mears.
later in the series.
Yeah.
And he's got always a few things
Isn't
this
he
year,
a-
isn't he?
Oh, can we say?
Yeah, go on, what is it?
Is he a hath?
He's a half.
He's a hath, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out
He's
for
a
the hath.
glass.
Watch out for that, faithful viewer. You don't know what that means, yeah?
You don't.
So this was a nightmare, wasn't it? Really, to film this scene. The timing was it? It felt it was a nightmare from my point of view.
Well, we did it... did we do it separately?
Catherine and I are so drilled in the
art of
techniques
timing.
of farce. It's in our blood, Phil.
Absolutely. It was just actually
I was upset there wasn't a door we could have kept banging and coming back into.
and actually, David, your trousers stayed up. My God.
Look for the deleted scenes later.
Yeah. Well, that sequence was like probably about 30 shots or in total just to get that. And we actually, when we were editing it, there were loads of shots that we didn't use because we realised that actually the comedy was in the simplicity of it, was in that big wide camera angle and the upping and downing
Seeing the
is
heads
actually
bobbing
where
up.
the comedy is.
There was more in the original script, or the first draft of the script anyway, or even the shooting script. I think there was more of them just missing each other, wasn't there? We
there
cut
was a
that
little
down
bit
a bit.
more. We have
Sort of missing each other in the street and missing each other coming in and out of lifts and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
that was a schedule
We never
thing.
even shot the
That
lift.
We
never
never
did
shot the
we?
lift thing because we were due to film it on a day and we didn't get to it and we dropped it and then we tried to rearrange it and we didn't get to it again, I think. And in the end, by the time we were looking to schedule it again for a third time, we'd seen the episode actually and realised we didn't actually need it. And really, we wanted to get to the point where you meet faster. So we sort of made that decision then, really.
Now, just before there, you showed him the psychic paper.
Yeah.
So that no one didn't have anything on it.
No,
The
but it goes
psychic-
in his head.
Yeah.
He sees like, you know,
What, in the
David's
man's head?
identity. Yeah, when the man's looking at it, that's why it's psychic paper.
Have you seen the show, Catherine?
Have you?
I have. I do. I love it when you. Is this where you do impressions of singers and stuff like that? Is that it? No, there's a bit of dry ice soon, isn't there?
Yeah. And then David comes out as someone else, you mean?
Yeah.
But we shot one where they did write it.
Yeah, but remember, there's a lot of debate. That's for an
It
episode
won't get-
still to
yeah.
come.
It won't get
and I
done,
don't think
will it?
we'll use
We
that.
won't
No,
use
we
it.
certainly won't. It was
We ha-
like
we-
somebody's left hand who wrote that. Somebody who couldn't write.
It was like someone with a foot. It was like Daniel Day-Lewis as my.
Yeah, it was. Well,
It was Christy Brown.
we're just insulting every minority today. They're going to have to delete this, bleep us out. Oh my lord! So I ended up directing this little bit.
I remember that at the
Right
bathroom
before-
shop.
It was a nightmare. We were behind schedule, and so David and the
That is
director
amazing,
James,
isn't it?
when it's gruesome, isn't it? Went off and did the stuff that you just saw in that character's house with the cat flap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're doing
And I was like, well, I'll just do that little bit with Stacey in the bathroom. It took about 8 hours. It was a living nightmare.
And the bit in the door, because they made
And the
a
little
door
bit
at
we
the
made a little
bathroom
door
shop, didn't
that
they?
you
Where-
walked into. Yeah.
Didn't you have to have all sorts of things drawn on her belly?
Oh, it
She
was
did.
awful.
Tracking marks.
Bless her.
and,
She had big crosses across her belly.
Yeah.
And then she had a sort of whole, like, sort of vest on with bladders in it that made her whole top bubble up. You're bound to see in a second.
Bladders.
Little bladders, yeah. That as they blew air in, they inflated. You see it all happen in a second. As they blew air into them, they inflated.
I love them. Look at
Isn't
them. They're so.
I love this second one that comes up. We're on the streets of Cardiff now.
It's all at night, this, isn't it? I'd
Yeah,
forgotten.
Yeah.
it was.
It was a whole episode of Night Shoots. wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Completely. Great way to start.
Yeah. Although we didn't start with it, did we?
No, we didn't.
We
no,
filmed.
this was episode. This was the fourth one.
Yeah, we filmed this
Filmed.
series very, very out of
Oddly.
sequence.
Yeah, we did. We did episode the Ood episode, which is 7, I think.
No, we did.
I love him
seven
sliding
first.
down.
Yeah.
Sorry, Agatha Christie's 7.
Agatha
Yeah.
Christie's
And
that
the
was the
Ood
first one.
episode's 3.
Yeah.
So we did those. You did those first, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, after the Christmas special. So that's her with a sort of this bladder vest on, which, if you heard it on the original rushes, because obviously the sound's altered and changed that, it's just like
People blowing.
as you see someone blowing in.
So what have you got? Danny Hargreaves who does the special effects, just kind of lying on the floor.
But at the tone
With a
meeting for
bicycle
this,
pump.
the art department came up with another way of doing it, which was James, who's one of our art department people, had a little Spider-Man strapped to his chest, and the Spider-Man which you operate remotely, and he punches and his legs kick, and so the little Spider-Man was wriggling away. It was an absolute hoot. But of course, we didn't go to the expense of buying 24 Spider-Men.
Oh, look at them.
Those
Sweet.
Now, how did they get up that wall, though, with those little legs?
Oh,
Well, they're probably suctioned.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they're quite...
Yeah, we should have done that, shouldn't we? We should have had that little sound effect on.
See ya.
That is good.
The whole time he was writing this, Russell had a little sort of, I don't know what it was like a little cuddly creature that he'd based the adipose on, and he carried it round. Every time we had a meeting about it, he'd bring the adipose out and he had to join in.
Yeah, I remember him.
Absolute
Talking
lunacy.
through.
Absolute lunacy. It's Davey with a gizmo. You love your gizmos, don't
Now
you?
that...
Well, you know, they get better and better.
Sorry, Catherine, you just said?
I was about to say something that I'm probably not supposed to say, so I won't.
It's not stopped you for the first 10 minutes. It's insulting everybody.
Was it insulting someone or something?
Look, can't run in high heels.
Yeah, they kept trying to put you in high heels for the first few episodes, didn't they?
Phew, and then I did.
And then finally you won the trainer's
Finally,
She
battle.
was like-
What
and then
trainer?
she would like take them off, and you'd see some poor costume person slinking away with these high heels in the distance. And then every shot had to be adjusted because she'd kind of dropped about 3 inches. Not that Catherine Tate's difficult at all.
No. It's just her ankles are.
She's got them up now, faithful viewer. A little poof in front of her.
But the shoes are very flat.
Yeah. So this, I love this taxi driver. Somebody told me he was in EastEnders. He was quite a regular character. in EastEnders.
He also is a taxi driver. It's his own taxi, and he also does this work when he can.
Is this going out only after episode 1?
Yeah.
I won't say anything. I won't say anything again then.
What?
Catherine.
Oh,
is
yeah.
mouthing something.
She is mouthing
Which-
something.
Which is
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
there was-
Oh, yeah,
there was
I
a
know what you
little-
mean.
There was something.
There
There was something
was.
about
There
that
was
shot.
About that
something,
shot of the
yeah.
taxi.
About that shot of the taxi that you should
That's
keep a
right.
faithful eye out,
That's
a beady
absolutely
eye
right.
out for
Yeah.
faithful
Which is
viewer.
which is one of the good things about having shot this slightly out of sequence. That
They were able
the
to do
art
that, weren't
department
they?
are
Yeah.
able to start laying a few little hints
Yeah.
for something that's coming up later in the season, which they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have known about if we'd
Yeah.
filmed it a few weeks earlier.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a bit gnomic for you, faithful viewer, but it'll all make sense if you watch this after the.
We
series
haven't
has come
talked
out.
yet about Sarah Lancashire, who I think is magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh, I
One of the
loved her.
best
Yeah.
villainesses that I
Yeah.
think we've ever had. I just think she's wonderful.
She's brilliant.
Terrific. And one of the interesting things about this episode, which makes it a very different feeling episode, I think, to almost anyone we've ever done, is there's not really any baddies in it. I
No,
mean,
there's not, yeah.
Sarah
She's
Lancashire
sort of the
kind of
closest
is,
thing,
but she's not a sort
She's
of
just an
villainess in the normal.
accomplice,
Yeah,
really, isn't
yeah.
She does enjoy being sort of a bit nasty to them, though.
She does. She does
Yeah.
revel in it a little bit.
And lovely
Jacqueline
Jax.
King.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was so nice to welcome her back.
Yeah.
I love this scene. How long did this scene take to do? How long did you have to sit
Not
there
long,
for?
actually.
Because it's a whole kind
Was
of
it just
time
one
lapse
take?
It was,
thing.
just
yes,
keep-
it
she
was.
just kept going.
Exactly, yeah, I'm sure it was.
It makes me hoot. How many times has that happened to you? Dear God. Someone's rabbiting away. So we should talk for a second now about Howard Attfield, who played your dad, Catherine.
Yeah.
We shot this scene with Howard as Catherine's dad. He was the chap with the telescope up on the hill. Howard had played Catherine's dad in The Runaway Bride, and in the interim period between that filming and this, had become quite sick. We thought he was getting better, but he turned up for the filming and it became apparent that he wasn't. And so we decided to bring all his stuff forward, all his storyline for the whole series.
Because he was really keen to do it,
He was
wasn't
so
he?
keen to
And
do
we
it.
were keen to have him
And
do
we
it.
wanted him to do it.
brilliant.
But then, unfortunately, before we filmed that, before we could get to film that, he sadly died. So it was a big blow to us all, really.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, we tribute this to him, this whole episode. That's when we decided to cast Bernard, and he was so lovely. That scene is so good. I do hope it's on a box set or
Yeah.
something at some point.
Yes, it would be nice. But we cast Bernard. We didn't just recast the character, did
No,
we?
no. We didn't want to do that.
to do
And
that, no.
you know that, just bring another actor in, because he was Donna's dad, and he was so brilliant. It would have been
Yeah.
impossible to do in it.
Yeah. So we
So we kind of, Russell had a good think and thought, well, actually, no, I think let's have a granddad. And then I am going to take credit for this because then I had a brainwave and thought, well, actually, we didn't know who Bernard's character was in the Christmas special when he was selling his newspapers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be marvellous if he was Donna's granddad? And luckily, Julian Russell loved the idea.
And in fact, Russell was able
Bernard
to
said
make
yes.
to make more of the idea, which we shouldn't talk about this early in the season, but
No.
that becomes a kind of the very fact that the Doctor and Wilf have met before
Yes,
is not entirely irrelevant. So it all
And actually, in the Christmas special, in the script, anyway, he was called Stan, wasn't he?
he
He
was.
was called Stan, and Russell decided he liked Wilf more for Donna's granddad.
And that was before the Christmas episode had gone out, so he was able to change his name on the titles, the credits.
Indeed. And there he is with his little red berry again. The red
Yeah.
berry he had when he was selling his paper.
Which he brought, didn't he? That was his own. When we were shooting Voyage of the Damned, and Bernard showed up, he brought his own costume. He had a little suitcase with him.
Yeah.
All right, I brought a few things. Unpack the suitcase, the hat, the sprig of holly, the muffler. Have props will travel, so it's...
Someone who I won't name. I won't name
She's
because
not
I'm
naming
not
anybody,
allowed to. Who we've just been working with,
Yeah.
who played someone else. I'm not naming.
Can you imagine the probably millions of people at home that are just absolutely scratching their head?
Said that Bernard Cribbins is. Oh, I can't remember what the name is, but you know, it's a.
You can't even remember the name?
It's a thing. You know, like people go, but Gordon Bennett.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bernard Cribbins is one as well. People
No.
do say, apparently, I don't know whether it's
What,
just...
when they're gobsmacked
yeah, it's
about
like...
something.
Bernard Cribbins.
Bernard Cribbins.
Just like
It is, it's one of them.
Is it Gordon
It's
Bennett?
one
Bernard
of them.
Cribbins, I've never
Bernard
heard of that.
Cribbins. Well, he said it was in circles he moved in. This person that
Well,
shall
is
remain
that like
nameless.
his fan club, you mean? His fan club. That was
This wasn't Bernard himself.
It wasn't Bernard himself. No.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Learned something new today. Bernard Cribbins. I love that shot of you, Catherine. So beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we got that. I think the first time we've used that little magnifying glass on the TARDIS console, which has been there as long as the TARDIS has, that little contraption-y bit with a magnifying glass on it.
There you are, sad man on his own.
Yeah.
Oh, needs somebody.
He's a mate.
Yeah. Oh. Looks huge there.
It does. It
doesn't
really does, doesn't it?
Oh, Jack's in her rollers. Oh, okay. Oh, you're off. You love that set, don't you, David? You really feel it. Really feels like you just own it. It's
I
brilliant.
do, and I like... although I am running out of buttons that don't come away in your hand, to be honest.
It's falling to
It
bits
is falling
now, isn't
to
it?
bits a little bit. And I think I've
After
broken
4 years.
everything
I think
twice.
I think this gap between series, they're going to have to do a little revamp on the old TARDIS. I
Yeah.
think. So this building here you're entering now, it's the gas board, isn't it? It's where we shoot most of this kind of...
It's right in the centre of
and-
Cardiff,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. It's the gas building. And that's where we shoot on the roof for the roof sequence that's coming up. And we're back in the
Well, we're back
Loan
in that.
Sharks
We're back
now.
in consolidated
clever.
Consolidated all your
And
payments.
that,
in one
that
hand.
gets used a lot, doesn't
That's,
it?
Yeah, that's
the Millennium
underneath-
Centre. We were in
Yeah.
there for
For
Runaway
Christmas,
Bride as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
That's right.
On those things.
On those little... I've forgotten the name of them
Trolleys,
now.
do you remember?
Yeah.
That's where you did. Brilliant. Now you're in a tiger.
Yeah, we're so
Oh, blimey, we get about. I love that suit she's got on. All a bit Dior now.
And the glasses were great, but they
Yeah.
kept causing problems with the reflections. I don't know
Reflection,
why.
yeah.
But you'll see that...
Yours do sometimes,
Mine
don't
do
they?
sometimes as well. They didn't used to. It seems to have just started happening this year.
It's a little homage to Super Nanny, that the glasses, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
cool.
right, yeah. But you'll see at various points in the episode she wears her glasses on the end of her nose, or she peers at the top of them, simply because they were reflecting big old lights in them all the time.
I remember in the script this sequence really surprised. I didn't see it coming at all when they kicked the
No,
doors in.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really good.
They kick the doors in and find someone else. She'd make a great Margaret Thatcher, wouldn't she, one day? Jax, I think. That sort of has the hair and the nails and the everything.
I don't think she'll thank you for that.
No, and in real life she doesn't wear a helmet.
No, I mean, in a biopic. When you turn it down, Catherine, maybe Jax could play that. Great lose, it has to be said.
Very swish.
Much nicer than the men's. Look, you can't say she's not a baddie. She's just reveling.
She is a baddie.
No?
I know. I suppose what I mean is she's not kind of...
conquering the earth or something.
I mean, they're quite happy to just... let everybody lose a bit of weight. I mean, clearly when it goes wrong, they're also quite happy to kill everybody. Admittedly, that's when the stakes get higher. But
it wasn't her idea, was it? That's
No.
the thing.
I suppose so.
and like the
She's
doctor
doing the
says
best
at the end,
we
as a diet plan, it sort of works, you know.
I'd love it.
Yeah.
Little adipose pill. Fat just walks away.
They don't sing now, do they? Because I remember when we were making this, and we were talking about that, the fat just walks away, the idea was that it was going to be sung as a sort of jingle.
I don't know
So when
why
I'm
that
looking through the
changed,
cat
really.
flap, I was going to sing it. And then...
Oh, were you?
Thank goodness she didn't.
And I
She
phoned up
wanted
Russell
us
that night and said, so the tune is going to be da-da-da. And he went, oh, we might not sing it. Don't risk it. Thank goodness I didn't.
There you go. So that was all very difficult to... This was all kind of...
Not actually moving, though. Only the camera's
not moving at all.
there.
The camera's moving on a crane.
That's
a
not
double.
me.
It's a stunt.
Because I
person.
wasn't... Neither Catherine nor I were... And that's green screen, isn't it?
Brilliant,
that bit?
isn't it?
That
I
is
love
great.
it.
Very clever.
So that's David in the cradle on a green screen, and then that's dropped into a clean shot of that office, and he's sort of...
Because there was
painted
actually
in
a balcony outside that window, which
That's
is where I
right,
do
yeah.
a lot of the rest of the scene, just standing on the balcony.
Oh, yeah.
That was in studio, just in the cradle of the thing.
Yeah.
It was the most complicated sequence.
Oh, it's
all that
just
stuff with it.
was.
But it looks
cradle.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole kind of series of stuff we had to do on the roof itself, you know, so that we got you in kind of slightly suspended against the sort of night sky and all the lights below you. So some of the moving shots, like the one you just saw of David that appeared to be moving, was just actually him stationary in the cradle on the roof. I mean, the way we were going to do it, actually, at one point, was much more complicated because we were going to get one of those huge cranes that they build buildings with and suspend the whole cradle from that, because the issue wasn't about you going up and down, but it was about us having control of you going up and down in what was deemed to be a safe way.
Right.
So that was going to kind of be up there and was going to swing out so that we could get you actually swinging out off the edge of the building safely. But we couldn't afford it in the end when we budgeted everything.
I love that. He's got one
Little
tooth.
tooth, yeah. So it sort of changed, and it's still an incredibly.
But that's me
difficult,
just standing on the
expensive-
balcony outside that thing and there's a wire on my left screen, the right of the screen, which somebody's just twanging a bit to make it look like it's moving.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's again where the locations people have to be at the top of their game on this show, because you know, finding an office you can film in that's big enough and friendly enough that does what you need is difficult enough. But then you've got to find one that has a balcony outside, so that, because obviously we couldn't green screen this whole sequence; it would be far too many shots. So we needed you to be outside that window. I love this, like Charlie Chaplin and. I don't know. Who's a female silent star, Catherine? Was there one?
Not a funny one.
Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd, then.
Okay.
There we go.
Ginger
And
Harold.
it wasn't a difficult stage direction for you here, Catherine.
No.
Donna mimes. I went on the internet. I read all British magazines. I think it's a titanic
This place-
job you've done
yes.
here.
I think
It's an Olympian
weird.
feat.
I love that. Look at that. It's just the rushes for this were just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Best ever. And Mary sort of scored a little Harold Lloyd score there behind it, I think.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. So cheeky. So again, this shot now
That's green
was on a
screen. That
green
is
screen.
brilliantly put in,
So
isn't
good,
it?
isn't it?
That is really good.
It's good, isn't it? And they're going to meet again now. Hooray! So yeah, you were able to jump in and out.
Yeah, I
of
was
the
allowed to get in and
basket,
out, but it wasn't allowed to move with us in it.
That was it.
Although it was up at the top of a very high building.
Oh, I don't know how you could have done it. I couldn't even stand near the edge. I
was desperate to go down in it.
I know you were.
I was so cross I wasn't allowed to go down in it.
He was absolutely furious that he couldn't go up and down, weren't you?
This is that
Soon
gas building
coming up.
again, isn't it?
Hooray!
Yeah.
Hey! She's found him.
24 minutes it's taken for them to actually meet.
Brilliant. Don't you ever change? I love that.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you'd say to him.
Now this 2-second shot. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He filmed us basically going up about 8 flights, James Strong.
My God.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
We
he
can
did.
never let him back to this.
You in high heels?
Oh my God! And
And they said,
And
we
then
can see
said-
your shoes!
So you had to get your high heels back on.
They were filming
Brilliant.
from the street about a mile away
Yeah.
through the glass side of this building. And
my God.
the message came through, you had to have your shoes
Oh
on.
my
I bet
God!
you were really chuffed about that.
It was nearly dragging me up the stairs. But then he had the cheek to then the next day go, the lights should have been off. Do you remember we had to go and do it again?
That's right!
He's a brave man, our James Strong. Yeah, so that is you actually jumping up, climbing
Yeah,
up that thing.
yeah.
Did we? How were you about the height, Catherine?
All right, yeah.
I would never have got in there in a million trillion years.
And it was all right, the roof of that building. It wasn't even one of those horrible, miserable cold nights either, considering how high up we were.
Oh, the best bit was when we
See,
went.
that's just the camera movie.
Yeah.
That works quite well.
We went there for a recce with all the safety people to see how safe it was, and we obviously knew that's 2 stunt people there. We were going to put stunt people in, so they whizzed the cradle out over the thing. The stunt man jumped in, and down went the cradle, and it jammed. And he was in there for about half an hour. Well, I had like a baby, a very large, like 12-pound baby up there on the roof, thinking, "Oh my God." I thought we were going to have to, because at one point they were going to have to send for the fire brigade to get him
Oh
out.
my God!
This sequence was originally, or a version of this sequence, was in the first draft script for Smith and Jones, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Which was
yeah,
episode
it was.
1 of series 3.
You and Martha were going to...
It was outside the hospital on the moon?
Yeah, which was replaced by you running down lots of stairs. But it was, in fact, yeah. And at that point, we shelved it because we couldn't afford the sequence on top of everything else. But Russell always wanted to do
Always
it.
wanted
I
it,
just
yeah.
think it's brilliant. I just think that's brilliant.
That's a great shot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is you on a green, hanging on a green screen on
Yeah.
a wire, yeah? Brilliant. The number of meetings we had to have about this sequence was probably more than any other thing we've ever done before.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely. Was there so many elements to it?
Yeah.
You know? I love you in this basket. You just absolutely go for it.
And that was all green screen, of course, in there.
Yeah, it was. And then we had to fly this sonic screwdriver on a green screen as well.
I had to catch it.
Way, I love it. What a catch. How many
And
times
you
did you
did.
drop it?
I did drop it a couple of times. I remember we rehearsed it twice. I got it both times, and as soon as the camera started, I kept dropping the thing. This is back on that balcony again,
Yep.
with somebody
outside
twanging the wire.
Hang on, I am hanging on. Yeah, same balcony, somebody else on a wire now.
Yeah.
In Catherine's trousers. And the shoes. Brilliant. That same office doubles for about 4 different offices.
It's very nice office building, that. A nice place to work. It's a gas company. Other gas companies are available. I won't say which one. It's the BBC. There'll be an inquiry. But it's a very nice place to work. They've got a very lovely sort of...
Big old coffee
Massage
shop and
chair.
everything.
A massage chair, which we all had a go at.
We did.
Because obviously we were there through the night when the workers weren't there. They have a really powerful massage chair. Really,
It was to the point of painful.
to the point of painful. I would say. I would say quite well into the area of pain. But quite kind of nice once you got into it. I remember Pete Chester, the best boy, couldn't be got out of the thing at 3 a.m. He was sort of groaning as some kind of...
I love that you smile then when he says that. It's always like this with you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's absolutely like she's she wants to be
She's
with him more than
desperate for
anything in
it,
the world.
yeah.
Isn't she?
Yeah. This was the last thing we shot at the end of a very long night in this.
Yes, it was.
This company where you can consolidate all your payments into one handy monthly.
Some.
And you can tell because look, I've nearly got a beard. Look at my.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But they
me.
rather helpfully, I think, took pictures of us this night. Was it this
Yes,
night?
that's right.
Definitely 4 o'clock in the morning. We definitely did some publicity shots.
We did some publicity shots at 4 in the morning. That's absolutely right.
Those ones that are on a bonfire somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll probably be on the cover of this DVD.
Makeup coming in with scaffolding to get rid of the bags under. But
Get
yes,
out of town.
and it had been a long night, and there was, we were way behind as we always are, and this was all done in about 3 shots at 300 miles an hour. Oh, it all got a bit tetchy, doesn't it?
It did.
It very rarely gets tetchy on our set. But I do remember certain people shout at each other.
They'll remain nameless.
They will remain nameless.
Yeah.
They're all lovely human beings. See, that's a keeking over the top of glasses moment because, again, it was
A
10
great
minutes
big lamp
before-
reflecting.
Look at that, like Robinson Crusoe.
If we could shoot things as quickly as we shoot things in that last half an hour of every working day,
Oh, we could make 42 episodes a year.
Exactly, because it is, faithful viewer, the most productive time of the day. It usually involves
Yeah.
someone or other screaming behind a monitor somewhere to hurry up and get finished. She is peeping over those glasses.
Well, because it was that you couldn't relight at that stage. We had 10 minutes before we wrapped.
Oh, and all that to do as well, blowing up the window and everything. Oh, lordy. A lot of running in this episode, Catherine. Were you scared that that's what it was going to be for now?
No, this was 4 in, wasn't it?
Of course it was.
Yeah.
You already knew that.
Yeah.
But after these first 4 episodes, you're in trainers throughout, I think.
I
aren't
am,
you?
and there was very little running.
Back in the Millennium Stadium again now.
That is exactly the same corridor that we used a lot in Runaway Bride. I wonder if it looks a bit similar.
It's the same corridor where the Dalek trundled down as well
that's
after
true.
Rose and when she got through the bulkhead in Series 1. We've been there a lot, actually. It's the only smooth concrete corridor in Cardiff, obviously. They don't have them. So half of this scene had to be reshot in studio because we didn't finish it on location. This whole computer
really?
was built into that office set. And we didn't finish, so
that's
we
the
had
studio
to build
there, is it?
every shot that you see favouring that computer had to be redone. So we didn't do the whole set. We didn't do the walls. We only did that one wall along the back there, and then obviously put some floor down so that we could get a couple of wide shots. Yeah, I have to do that. Not very often, it has to be said, but we do have to do it occasionally. And obviously, then there's a big wrangle because there's a cost implication, which then means something else has to be cut so that you can pay to do all of that. The most difficult bit of the show, really, in a way. Running it, anyway. They're constantly inventive, aren't they, with their computers and their gizmos?
Yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant. So simple, and yet it just feels like nothing you've ever seen before.
Feels alien, yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So you're in a tiny little cupboard for this, weren't you?
Absolutely
We were in a tiny little cupboard for about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Filming the backs of our heads.
Yeah.
And then in the last 20 minutes, turned around, did
That's
all the
right.
dialogue.
And we did. That's exactly right.
10 to 5 in the
It was
morning.
one of them.
Oh,
It
poor
was.
Poor James Strong's getting a kick in today. James, if you're listening, that was a veiled attack on you, mate.
He's
It
going right
was
back to
not.
doctors.
That's not. That wasn't aimed specifically at you, James. Mostly just aimed at all the directors of our show. No. No,
You
not
just
at all.
made it worse because it was night shoots. That's what it was. And it was
Yeah,
10 to 5 in the morning.
10, 5 in the morning.
Turning round
Yeah,
on
it
your
was-
close-up.
Yeah, get the scaffolding in again. Because it's actually there's a lot of scenes that we filmed as one scene, didn't we?
Yeah.
All these little scenes
All these
because
little bits.
they're the same
Yes,
setup, aren't they?
absolutely, yeah.
So it was long takes
Yeah.
with a lot of dialogue to try and get through.
And the trickiest shot is this one that's coming up where you hold up the
Yeah.
adipose little thing. What are they called?
the
Pendant.
pendant.
The little pendant thing, yeah. because it was kind of like the biggest moment of the episode. It's the moment where you absolutely know that Donna is going to be the best companion in the world.
Yeah,
and they won.
Yeah.
So
And he runs out of time, that's why he does it on a two-shot.
No, he was always going to do it on a two-shot. He was always going to do it on a two-shot. He was always going to do it like that, because we did have discussions about how do you make that shot feel kind of big and iconic, and they're in a tiny little space, so you can't really get back and track right into Donna Catherine. You know, so you have to we had to go in from outside. I love this woman.
She's great when she goes, I've got my jaw back. Or something like that. I'll look at mine there.
It's fantastic.
And how lovely to have, as an extra in the background, William Shatner.
Where? Where? Captain Kirk.
I don't know what
he's
is...
moonlighting.
I don't know what he's doing. Look, in the background. It's William Shatner.
So this is another case for that. This is the...
Look, there he is.
It is William Shatner. All the Trekkies are going to be going mad now. So that was another outing for the bladder vest.
William Shatner, he dreams of an adipose pill these days.
We're having a go at
He
William
dreams of a
Shatner.
walk-on
This
park.
is the nastiest podcast I've ever done in 4 years. This is the nastiest one. Oh dear, this is a fate.
Squishing an adipose.
That's awful.
Oh, there had to be a few victims. Come on.
Look at them.
I
taking
love
over
it.
taxi.
Watch I don't know if it's the next shot. One just comes.
Look at
to
that one
camera.
sliding down
Sliding
the
down.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
brilliant. And one of them does a little kick in a minute. Oh, I love it. Look, watch him.
Which one?
Watch, hold on a minute. He's going,
Oh, missed him. There. I mean, the bit I love about this is, that, you know,
love
this
it.
is kind of, we're filming a big main street in Cardiff now, which we had to close off, but that main street in Cardiff is like, on a normal night, Beirut. You know, with drunks everywhere. Imagine if that lot came down, they'd be like footballs, they'd be kicking them up. Kicking them into the air. I love that shot.
The Mill did get a specialist in.
They
who
did
does,
indeed, a specialist, and
does kind of monster crowd.
And he came over especially, and he's an expert. He worked on Lord of the Rings, so
That's
you
right.
know,
He
on
did the
those
orc
big,
swarming and all that,
yeah,
didn't he?
all of that. So,
And he's a
with
big Doctor Who fan, so he came and did it.
came
I
and did
think
it.
he came and did it for free.
No, he didn't do
Wow.
it for free. We
Oh,
did have
all
to
right.
pay him, David, but
That was the story
you
I
know,
heard, but he
but
obviously...
not as much as we ought to have paid him, I'm sure, for his kind of world-class expertise, but absolutely brilliant, so thank you
well,
very
William
much.
Shatner did it for free.
Yeah, he did.
He's always wanted to be in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
you know.
we
He
just
was
had
never
to-
a Star Trek fan.
Sci-fi Crocs.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all at it now. Here we go. There's this shot coming up now. Brilliant.
I do think we have been slightly getting at James. I do think it's done a brilliantly stylish
Yeah,
job here.
it is.
Because I remember shooting this and thinking, oh, we got to really crank up the stakes here. But us standing in our tiny little cupboard
I know.
at
Yeah,
4 in the
that's-
morning,
It's
a real
it
challenge,
didn't
that.
feel very important, did it? But
No.
when you see it all put together, and he's paced it brilliantly, and
brilliant.
it's he's got such a kind of eye for how to make it exciting and stylish and.
Well, James, I hope you didn't turn off 5 minutes ago when they were giving you a big slagging. You did do a brilliant job.
All right, then, you did.
You're back in the studio again there.
The only thing about that computer, which is a beautiful piece of design, was finding enough things to fiddle with.
Yeah.
Because not that many bits moved, and I had a lot of kind of blah.
You had a lot of
while I
blah,
was
yeah,
supposedly in
flipping
its innards.
So that's Sarah looking out at Cardiff, but actually the Mill have put a reflection of London in there, which is very clever.
Clever.
A bit of London.
I love this spaceship.
Very close encounters, isn't it?
Oh, it's beautiful.
And also, her over Perron.
Yeah. We stood there on the night, and I said to her, "Are you going to do it?" Because she'd said she quite fancied doing it as Eva Perron, and she went, "Oh, I don't think I will." I was going, "Oh, go on." So she goes, "All right then." So we kind of had a version where she didn't, and then we had a version
There
where
it
she did.
is. Look at that.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It was obviously Ernie Vince having to shine a great big light down on all those people just to make it look. I love that.
And
That's
Wilf
just the best
misses
thing in the
it.
world.
Yeah.
He misses it
Great.
completely. Which, of course, Howard filmed that little moment as well
Yeah.
on that night shoot. It was difficult doing all that night shooting on the streets there because obviously we had a lot of people onlookers, you know. We had to have quite a lot of security to, you know, keep people out the way and stop them wandering into the shots and wrestling you both to the ground for autographs.
There's
There's
Eva.
Eva. In front of the gas board. Oh, brilliant, though. Just the best shot in the world. I love it. And off they go. I wonder if we're going to get little squashy adipose toys. I do hope so.
You
It's going to happen, isn't it?
So it'll be a great stress doll, I bet.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
No,
Sit there
but
and squeeze it.
I think that you're going to have adipose backpack,
Pyjama cases.
novelty earrings.
Fantastic. The
Pyjama,
adipose.
you don't see a pyjama case anymore. You used to get them all the time, didn't you?
You did, didn't you?
A novelty pyjama case in the shape of your favourite cuddly animal.
Yeah, they probably won't let them do it now because of health and safety with a zip or something. No, they won't. Probably
Yeah.
Velcro now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you don't. Do you see them?
I don't think they exist
You
anymore.
had all concrete dust on your bum then as you ran away, David.
Did
you
I?
notice? Yeah, I wonder what you'd been doing.
I have no
Leaning
idea.
against the concrete wall, I suppose.
Probably. Look at them
That's
all.
just lovely. So yeah, we're back on the building again, back on the roof. We're about 3 nights there, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
3 full 11-hour nights, dear Lord, and it was freezing. It was summer, but it was freezing. A little cold snap.
Oh, no, I don't think it was, you know.
It was.
I don't
you see
remember
the breath
these being
coming out
miserable
of you.
nights.
No.
We've had colder.
Oh God, yeah, we've been colder, but it was cold for summer. It's the one with his little wink. It's brilliant. I'm waving.
And
at
that crane on top of that building, which gets some fantastic shots.
Yeah, it was so worth having. So there's Sarah in a green screen studio. She's been painted into this now.
But the close-ups of her were done
Standing
on
a
top of
box.
the
Yes,
roof.
that's
on.
right.
Yeah.
We were sort of, for her eye line, we were kind of crouched down. So for that sort, she was just
yeah.
looking down at us with shooting against the night sky
Yeah.
with a bit of smoke.
Yeah. And then actually what we'd got the mill to do is just move her in the image so she feels like she's moving. See, like she's just...
So she wasn't hanging on a wire.
No,
being
she was just
suspended?
standing on a box and we've moved her afterwards.
We were there, Catherine, don't you remember?
No, I mean...
Was that for the benefit of the viewer?
I mean, no, the bit where she was suspended going up in the...
Oh, yeah, there she's on a
She's
wire.
on a wire,
and,
yeah.
and for the
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
there as
yeah.
well, she was dropped on a wire. On a green screen, separate, different day.
Oh, there they go. I wonder what an adult adipose looks like.
Oh, not half as cute.
No. Yeah, I wonder if they change. Russell will have to answer that.
Yeah.
There goes the sonic pen.
No,
So we made a little cut
Yeah,
there.
I was going to
We made a
say.
little cut.
There was a scene where I sent a message to the Shadow Proclamation.
Yeah, indeed. Just for speed, really. I think we did that. And also I think it was a special effect because you held up the sonic screwdriver and the
I jammed it in the
little
gizmo
light-
from earlier.
Yeah,
And jammed it in the sonic end and did a
and a big
bleeps,
beam
thing up
came
into
out of
yeah,
it and
yeah.
went up into the sky. And I also think we needed the little bit of time extra. So we had to film this twice.
We feel we had
no.
a...
Oh,
now this is a
here we
start.
go.
Hey!
Yeah, because we were supposed to film it, I think, on a Monday.
Yeah.
But for scheduling reasons, we ended up filming it on a Thursday. And of course, on a Thursday, the club, which is just off camera, was going at full volume with the umska, and all the people hanging outside having a fag. Shout, Dr. Who! Oh, Dr. Who over there! Are you filming? Screaming at us throughout the take.
dear.
It was the noisiest street in the history of the world.
And the sound was just terrible in the end.
You couldn't hear a word. We all had to do it so quickly. This bit, in fact, we had to cross-shoot again in the last 5 minutes of the day
Yeah.
to get the right camera angles so that we could both be in shot at the same time. I had to straddle a puddle of urine.
You did.
Oh, David.
I had to be slightly short.
And it
I
was
was slightly
raining.
shorter
Look, you're
than
really
them.
wet there. Look, aren't
Yeah,
you?
it was raining.
It was raining.
But this was the
This was
the
the
remake.
second
time,
We
yeah.
came back and we did it again.
in a different
Sans
alley,
puddle of
actually.
urine.
In a different
But you
alley.
can see that.
Yeah. and without the club.
But of course, it poured down.
It did.
It was absolutely pouring down, and we filmed this kind of in little tiny 5-minute breaks
That's right, we
between
did.
downpours. Do you remember?
Yeah.
It did feel like we were never going to be able to shoot this
Complete
scene,
that
didn't
shot.
it?
I remember sitting there thinking we're going to have to come back again and do this. Because it's actually, you know, the big reason for redoing it as well is it's so important to the
It's such a big scene,
rest
isn't
of the
it?
series, really.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a huge scene.
Yeah.
You see it
Look
pouring
at the
down.
rain, yeah. Yeah, it's very important to establish that there's not going to be any enemies falling in love with anyone in this relationship. They've got a very different. It's a very different vibe to anything that we've known in the last 3 series. Isn't it?
It is. Jeez.
Now, faithful viewer, this scene you're about to see. Hopefully,
Well,
if our plan holds true, will not have been seen by anyone outside the production team until the night of
translates.
broadcast. Yeah.
Because basically we've made 2 versions of the master copy.
Yeah.
And as we sit here, we're probably about a month away from transmission of this. And so we have delivered the episode to the BBC without this scene in it. Because we don't want
this scene,
getting
but
out.
without.
With this scene, but up to the point of you walking away
Didn't
now.
they use the double?
No, we didn't use the double in the end. So we didn't put any of this in at
Oh, I
all. You see in that master.
Oh, did you film this without Billy?
Yeah,
No,
we
no.
filmed them with a double. Yes, a blonde double as well.
As well?
Also being the person who turns away. But it felt odd, and it felt like actually it would raise more questions.
there
It's
she
spooky,
is.
isn't it? Yeah.
It is spooky,
Would
and
raise
the
more
doomsday
questions,
music
the
coming in.
Yeah.
But hopefully that means that on all the preview copies at the press launch, nobody will see this scene.
Brilliant.
So that on the night of transmission, this will come as a you wouldn't have been. The Radio Times wouldn't have told you it's coming.
No, that's right.
And it'll come as a genuine little
Proper.
Oh, that's good,
surprise.
isn't
prickle up the spine.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
I love it that Donna's met Rose, doesn't know she has, and
Yeah.
the doctor's completely unaware. And it means,
Russell really understands women, doesn't he? Men are always too warm. Women are always too cold. That's Russell's theory. The difference between the sexes. So we did again. We filmed all of this with Howard, where you were waving goodbye to your dad,
Yeah.
and hopefully that will be on a box set
Oh.
because he was such a lovely performance.
it's such a shame that he was so keen to
To do it all, wasn't
to
it?
get
he
through it.
was.
Such a shame that it just couldn't work.
A terrible, terrible shame. I love that. Shot. Brilliant. And when we filmed this, Bernard just went mad. There's a whole kind of 10 minutes of rushes of him just going mad, running around this allotment. Look at his little dance.
I love that little whistle he does as well. He does that whistle a lot.
Hooray!
Ah,
Catherine,
there you go.
Catherine, that was your first.
Welcome back, Catherine Tate.
Yeah.
A week before you finish,
A week before I finish, it's nice to finally
to
get
say you're talking about it. And Phil
finally to get a
Collinson,
hello.
a week
Yeah.
before you
A
finish
week
as
before
well.
I finished
Yes.
You know, I'm being abandoned by you all.
Catherine and I, we finish on the same day.
Yeah.
Which is what, a week on Friday? We're now
week
talking
Friday.
about.
21st.
Week Friday, 21st of March 2008.
Well, I'll miss you.
Oh, bless you. I miss you too. That was brilliant. I loved that.
Yeah.
Such
Was
a
good.
hoot.
Look how fast the credits go now.
They do
I
now,
know.
don't they? Eh?
In memory of Howard Attfield, I'm glad we put that on.
Yeah, we did.
Is it on? I didn't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't
we
see.
did.
Oh, I wondered if we were going.
I hope you'll be watching from somewhere.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Thank you for listening.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Tune in, 7 o'clock next Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.